Big changes have arrived in Modern Warfare Season 4, and that means that Warzone is really starting to shift gears now. We've got new weapons coming to the game, a complete weapon overhaul of all the ground loot within Warzone, there's new mid-game events that are happening that I'm going to tell you all about, and even a new Warzone mode to discuss as well. Season 4, at least at the start, does appear to be a more incremental update to the Warzone game mode, with perhaps more larger and grander changes coming later on in the season, but that doesn't mean that the changes we're seeing on day one aren't any less important, and I think they really are going to change how Warzone plays. So let's get into this update, work through the patch notes, and let you guys know what's happening for Season 4. First of all, the new guns. I've spent the best part of the morning ranking up the new Fennec SMG, which you might know as the Vector. This is currently rank 15 in the Season 4 Battle Pass. It's in the free segment, so anyone can work towards unlocking this new weapon. It is a properly close-range, extreme high rate of fire weapon that is going to be competing directly with the likes of the MP5 for your close-range slot in your Warzone loadout. I've been using it in the new Scrapyard 24/7 playlist, and it's been pretty good fun so far, although you really can tell that this weapon is built for close-range combat overall. Within Warzone, you're going to find limited use for it in the early to mid-game. If you're calling in a loadout drop, you might want to take something different for those earlier moments, but later on, when the circle starts closing in and those gunfights start to get closer and more tense, that's where this weapon is going to shine. And then there's the CR-56 AMAX, which is more commonly known as the Galil rifle. This is a brand new assault rifle within the Battle Pass at rank 31. Again, another free unlock, so everyone can get their hands on this, but it will take a little bit of grinding for you to get your hands on it. And right now it is still locked for me, but I should have it unlocked in the next day or two, so look out for a video on that weapon. Next up on the list, and probably the biggest change coming to Warzone in Season 4, we need to talk about these InMatch Events. These are an entirely new layer of events that Infinity Ward is adding to the Warzone game mode that's going to take your attention for short periods of time. These events are going to activate at random during the mid-game. So that's to say after you've had your first loadout drop kit come from the sky and before the gulag closes. So one of these events is going to happen at random within that period of time. There are 3 different InMatch events, but only one of them will occur during any given match. So the first one is called Jailbreak. All players that have been eliminated will be released back into the match. So whether you're fighting in the gulag, whether you're waiting for your 1v1 in the gulag, or if you're just spectating the rest of your squad, well, now you've got another chance, because everyone sitting in those states is going to get to spawn back onto the map. You'll get a 1-minute notice before a jailbreak event is going to happen. You might want to find some additional weapons or maybe even just ammunition or armor, and then group up with your teammates, because then you can look to the sky and you'll see plenty of players parachuting back down. Jailbreak events can occur at any time during the middle game of a Battle Royale match, so if you are spectating, it might be worth carrying on that spectating just in case, because you might get a chance to spawn back in. Be mindful that when a jailbreak occurs, it's not just your teammates that are coming back, but all of the enemies that you've been fighting for the rest of the game so far. And this is going to completely fill the match back up with players and could end up releasing a ton of lightly armoured bodies back into your area that you're then going to have to take down again after you've already taken them down. This is going to massively change the pacing of Warzone when this occurs. The second in-match event is called Fire Sale. You might have some idea about what this does, but I'll explain it for you. This temporarily discounts most of the items at the buy station by up to 80%, or even gives them out completely free. So a fire sale is going to be the best time for you to go and pick up more plates, UAVs, an armor box, or anything that you might need, because it's going to be discounted. Or maybe you want to pick up a lethal kill streak and take down somebody that's near the buy station that's also trying to go there and get something on the cheap. During a fire sale, buying back fallen teammates is completely free. If you're short on in-match cash, a fire sale might be the chance for you to redeploy a squad mate. Note that even during a fire sale, loadout drops are not discounted, so you won't be paying any less than the 10,000 cash that you need for that loadout, but everything else will be on sale. Fire sales last 60 seconds, so you can expect buy stations to be pretty crowded, and you're going to have to prepare for plenty of fights. Now this, in my opinion, this is an absolute game changer. With the recent change of not awarding cash from every single crate that you open in Warzone, I have been finding it a lot harder to buy back squad mates during trios and quads matches. But if a fire sale comes along, then it's going to be free for 60 seconds, and that means that you could get maybe 1 or 2 different teammates back if you're near a buy station. And when they come back, they can start looting for weapons and getting cash, and then maybe they will be able to get something from the buy stations as well. And then the third InMatch event is called Supply Choppers. This brings a non-lethal but heavily armoured helicopter onto the Verdansk map. The helicopter is going to have a lot of health, so it's going to take lots of bullets, plenty of rockets to bring this thing down, but it is worth trying to get it to come down to the ground. Because once you destroy a supply chopper, it's going to drop high quality loot for players to pick up. Now this loot includes 3 UAVs, 2 armor boxes and munition boxes, a gas mask, a grenade launcher, and tons of cash at a minimum. So all of those things, you're going to get that if you bring one of the helicopters down. Supply choppers, they do leave after a certain period of time, so if you want to take one out, you need to start fighting it right away, because it will take some time. And remember, after taking down the supply chopper, you don't just get the loot straight into your loadout, you physically have to go over to the loot and grab it. So be aware of your surroundings, be aware of enemy teams who then might come in and try and steal all of your rewards. This does sound very much like a take on the chopper gunners that spawn into the plunder matches, but here in Battle Royale they don't shoot back at you and they simply offer you a chance to get more valuable loot. Now, as I said for the fire sale description, I think these new in-match events are going to be massive game changers for Warzone. They sound really, really interesting, and I think over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're really going to see how they impact the flow and the pacing of Warzone matches, especially because all of this happens in the mid-game, which is arguably when there's the least amount of action at the moment in Warzone. So if these have been added in to spice things up and bring more action happening in the mid-game, this could be exactly what we need. Moving beyond these new in-match events, we need to talk about a new contract that's being added into Warzone as well. The contract is called Contraband. It's a rare contract, so it's not going to spawn anywhere near as much as the others, and it's only going to spawn after you complete another contract. It's tied into you completing one, and then you'll get a chance that this one will spawn, and then you can complete it if it does. But it rewards you with a permanent blueprint unlock. So if you see the contraband briefcase appear on the floor, you need to go and pick it up and then take it to a designated helicopter extraction location and call in the helicopter. The player carrying the briefcase then has to deposit it into the helicopter to complete the mission. If you kill a player that's carrying the briefcase, say it's another squad and they're running out in the open and you happen to kill them, you can then pick up the briefcase yourself and you can complete that contract for your team instead. So even though you weren't the one that started it, you can go ahead and finish it. And again, this sounds like a spin on a system that's already available in the plunder game mode when you call in helicopters to deposit your cash, only this time you're going to get a weapon blueprint unlock, which is pretty cool. And then, on top of all of that, there is a brand new Warzone playlist activating today. It's called Warzone Rumble. This is a brand new 50v50 game mode where 2 teams fight it out in a smaller area of Verdansk, ramping up the action with custom loadouts, vehicles, and quick respawns. This sounds very much like Fortnite's 50v50 mode, so maybe Activision are giving that a go here in Warzone. And of course, as you expect with any update, several bugs have been fixed for Warzone with Season 4, the most notable being a patching out of your ability to drop weapons in the Gulag for your teammates to pick up in the next round, if they're the ones to go in next, and an exploit where players were able to duplicate self-revive kits. Both of those things are gone. So, Warzone is having some pretty massive changes with Season 4, and I can't wait to get into the action and start getting some wins on the boards. I will be posting plenty of videos over the next week or so as we get into Season 4, and no doubt we're going to be learning more about the story behind what's happening in Verdansk, perhaps some info on this big live event that we're all expecting as well. Thanks very much for watching today, and I'll catch you all in the next one.